So far we have made some nice progress and we have learned a lot in Aura framework. We know how we can capture a component uniquely and get its value. We know how to define the JavaScript handlers behind the components. Now our job is to get the attribute value inside our JavaScript file. For example, if I want to know the value of this modes attribute, how we can know it and how we can set a value dynamically inside this attribute. So my challenge is, as soon as I click on the start new button, I want to display the value of this selected mode on the UI here. So I'm going to have a simple text here. It will be like selected mode is, and then I want to print my mode here. How can I do that? Or what options do I have? The one option that I have is to store this selected value inside another attribute, and then I can display that value here. For example, let's have one more Aura attribute and we can name it selected game mode, or we can also name it selected mode. The type of this attribute can be string because the mode will have a string value, and then we can print the value of the selected mode here. And to print it, you already know the syntax. We need to use curly braces, then we need to use our exclamatory mark, then our value provider dot the attribute name. But will it work? Are we setting this value anywhere? We are not. We need to set the value inside the selected mode, and the only place we can do it is inside our start game method, because here in this method we are getting the value of this combo box, and this is the only place where we can set this selected mode value as well. So how we can do that? For that we need to use a method called set, and again, since we are dealing with the markup file, we need to use that set method using the component variable that we have here. So as soon as we get the selected value, I need to do one more task, which is update selected mode attribute, right? So let me type it. To update it, we need to use our component variable, which is our component instance. Then we need to use the set method, and here we need to define the attribute name which we want to set. The attribute name is selected mode, but don't forget the value provider. You always need to use v dot the attribute name, and then you need to give a comma and then the value that you want to set. The value that you want to set is this selected value. So let's do it. Then let's add our semicolon and save our component. Let me deploy this. So when you load this component for the first time, it says selected mode is, and it's blank. The reason is our selected mode attribute doesn't have a default value. So when this component is rendered for the very first time, we do not have any value here. But when you make a selection inside this combo box and click on start new game, you will see that this value is updated here. So this is how you can set an attribute value inside the JavaScript file. So here, if you have noticed, as soon as we change this attribute's value inside our JavaScript file, our markup file auto picks the new value and show it on the UI. So this is called two-way data binding. So when you change the value inside the JavaScript, it will auto reflect inside your markup file, and you do not need to fetch it again. In the next video, we are going to take a look at another type of expression to print an attribute's value. Okay, before that, I forgot one thing. I've shown you guys how to set a value inside an attribute, but how we can get the value of an attribute? For that, we simply need to use the get method instead of the set method. So I'll give you a simple example. Let me remove this alert window. We do not need it. So here I'm going to print the value of the selected mode attribute. So it will be like component dot get and then v dot the attribute name, which is selected mode. So you can store the output of this inside any JavaScript variable, or you can directly print it inside the console log as well. So you can call it like selected mode attribute value. So that's it. Now we can deploy our code, and we will see another console log which is going to fetch the selected mode value, although the value will remain same as we are setting the same value and getting the same value again. Let's open our DevTools, go to console, clear everything and click on start new game. So here we see our another console log which prints the attribute value, and we are getting this value using the get method inside our JavaScript file. So always remember, if you want to set the value inside an attribute, then you use component.set. If you want to get the value, then you use component.get.